because it just like check for the comma, and when it sees the comma it just like make it to become like one cell of data straight away นะครับ this one is in Excel if you just open up นะครับ but in the older version of Excel นะครับ it may not be able to just like transform the CSV file to be Excel-like file straight away. You may need to have like many steps in order to do that. Okay, so in this one, I just like want you to try getting this data file, the CSV file into your Power BI. We'll do it together one at a time. So make sure that you download those 7 files, those 7 CSV files into your computer already นะครับ if you have a look it said Microsoft Excel comma separated value file นะครับ while the Excel นะครับ it said Microsoft Excel worksheet นะครับ different type นะครับ okay now let's go back to Power BI the new file that you just recently created นะครับ in this one you choose get data นะครับ get data and then you choose text/CSV นะครับ instead of Excel นะครับ we choose text/CSV นะครับ this is the CSV file why it said text/CSV because actually this file if you remember we use a program called Notepad to open it up นะครับ we use Notepad to open it up Notepad is a kind of word processing software like similar to Microsoft Word as well. So CSV นะครับ CSV file is a kind of the text file. Okay, we choose text/CSV. And when we try to open up นะครับ okay, we choose connect. And we try to open up the first file first. I'll begin with order นะครับ I choose order นะครับ and then choose open. Power BI will try to get that data นะครับ and analyze นะครับ the data for you. You can see that in here it's different from the Excel that we get into Power BI before because in this one it said file origin delimiter and data type detection นะครับ before it shows a preview of the data. You can see that in here นะครับ this one you have to check first when you go to work in different countries the file that somebody give it to you might be in different formats. How do we know? Once Power BI display the data for you if it's unreadable that means the file origin is wrong. You have to choose the correct file origin instead นะครับ How do you know นะครับ which one is the correct one? The things that you have to do นะครับ for if it is I know that I mean like in Thailand you may use Thai if it is the Thai if it's the Thai alphabets you may use 874 Thai Windows you just use in that language นะครับ but if you choose the specific language that you expect already and it doesn't work means that it's unreadable นะครับ you ask the person นะครับ who is the IT person of that company or you ask the person who give you this file ask them that what is the file code นะครับ what is the file code นะครับ or sometimes we call it as encryption นะครับ we call it as encryption ask them that what is the text encryption number they might tell you that oh use 874 or they may say that you choose Unicode something like that they will tell you นะครับ but normally you just try by yourself first นะครับ Power BI will try to analyze and help you to justify what the encryption or what file origin that we should use นะครับ so if it's readable already นะครับ next we just have a look on the next row you can see that in here it shows column 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 that is wrong It shouldn't show as the column name like this, but they should show as order ID, customer ID, and so on instead. That means column name is wrong now. The first row, this one doesn't contain any data, it's just a heading. We don't want it as well. So when you see the data like this, before you load the data, you better transform it first. When you transform, you just click transform data. So it will open up the Power Query editor for us. When the Power Query editor is opened already, then you just manage it as we did before. So in this case, we will, we will delete row number 1 first. I choose reduce rows, remove rows, remove top rows. And I don't want row number 1. Then I remove 1 row out, click OK. Now, the new row number 1 is ready to be our header already. Then we will have to transform by just use first row as headers. Now, this one is correct already. We have the first table called order, and we have the correct header already. After that, we click close and apply. Right now, when you just click close and apply, you go back to Power BI screen already. We click apply changes. After that, when you go to your data view, you can see that we have one table only called order. Some of you may have a question that you may see this for many times already. For the sigma or summation symbol, what does it mean? Sigma or summation symbol, if you see this symbol in front of the column, it means that this column is the number. And Power BI think that it might be some values that you can sum them. That's why this one is called summable field or summable column. But you can see that employee ID here is the ID. Normally we don't sum it for sure. So this one, the sum from Power BI is useless for us because we don't want it. Okay, right. Okay, after that we go to get the next file. We go to home, get data, and then choose text/CSV again. Now we get the next file. I'll get the customer files. Okay, and then I just have a look. The same as we did before. You can see that in here the delimiter is comma. Yeah, we saw it already and we found that it is a comma. So that's why it's just separate every column for us correctly. In this one, we choose transform again because the column name is wrong. I choose transform. And then in the Power Query editor, in this one, it's easy because we just use the first row as headers and it should be okay. Right. Now it's finished already. I click close and apply. You can see that right now, if Power BI discover that 2 tables that you get into Power BI has some relationships. For example, if the name of the field are the same. For example, in here you can see that in the customer table you have customer ID, while order table you have customer ID as well. Then Power BI will try to relate these 2 fields together. If you just click on the model view, you can see that it tries to just show us that there are relationship between these 2 tables. If you just move the mouse pointer over the line, it shows that now Power BI links fields called customer ID together in here. Right. Okay, the next one. Now we'll get the next table. We get the data again in text or CSV formats. I get order detail. So everyone, you may just like get all the data file นะครับ the CSV file that we download from e-learning and just like do it straight away นะครับ Then I'll load this data because all the column name are correct already นะครับ Okay. After that, I get another file นะครับ products. Okay, now I have to transform it. You can go ahead นะครับ for just like getting all of the file. You can do it faster than me. I don't want row 1 and row 2. I reduce row, remove the first 2 rows. Okay, and then I just like use the new first row as a header instead. Okay, now I get the correct one already. Click close and apply. Power BI will justify the model once again for the relationship. Yeah, okay. Now I get the next file, categories. Okay, it's okay. Then suppliers. Yeah, it's correct. If it's correct, I will load straight away without transforming. But later on, you may have to check again whether everything is correct or not. Okay. Okay, this one is okay. So right now I finished getting all of the worksheet or all of the table already from 7 different files. The next thing that I should do even though I just like check already and the headers are correct already, I have to check for the data type of each table, of each column or each field and just like make it to be correct and clean all the data. So I go to home and then transform data. The things that I should do is that I have to check. I go for orders. After that, I just scroll to see all of the data type. Okay, others is okay. Next, customer table. Okay, others detail. Okay, it's okay too. Products. Okay. And then we just like see every single table and every single field that we have in that table. Okay. So you can see that sometimes we also have to clean the data properly. For example, sometimes there might be some error appear on some records that you have. For example, some records might be null value. You have to eliminate that record out. How can we do that? So in one way, in order to clean the data, is that you just go to a column. For example, order ID column. We right click, and then we just choose remove errors. It tries to analyze and then just like check for the errors for us and then just clean the data for us. I go to every single record, every single table, and then go to the first column, right click and then choose remove errors. Right. Okay. When you normally when you get the data into Power BI, it try to remove error for you automatically. But in order to make sure you can just like remove errors once again. There's no problem at all. When you finish, you can click close and apply. So Power BI will just like re-justify every single query and every single table that you did something with it. and then just fix all the problem for you. Then you can use this data next on. So now we get like two different files that are the same. This one is ABC sales file as well, but we get them in different way. The first ABC sales, we had all of the worksheets, all of the data in different worksheets in one Excel file. But in this file, in this ABC sales file, we get the data from different files, as one file per one table. Like we have a CSV file, different CSV files that we get them like this. But if you have, like, for example, if you have categories stored in one Excel file, order stored in one CSV file, order detail stored in a database, and you want to use them together in one Power BI, you can do it as well. That means one table in Power BI can be from different sources from another table. That means if we have like 8 tables in here, 2 tables you have data from one Excel file. Another 2 tables, each table come from one Excel file. Another 2 tables, each table come from one CSV file. And the last table come from a database. That one you can use it without any problem as well, because Power BI has a capability to manage the data from different sources at the same time. Okay, now let's save this file. We move on to the next way of getting the data. I name this file as ABC sales from CSV. Just that. Okay. After we get this file already, the next one that I'll just like show you is to get the data from the internet. How to get the data from the internet. In this one, once you just like finish saving this, the new ABC sales file already, we just create our new Power BI file, together. Okay, this one I just close them first, and I will create a new Power BI. So this one I will show you the Power BI. Sorry, I will show you the website where can we get the Power BI information. Okay, now just leave the Power BI screen like this first. We will just like discover the web page that contains some information. Okay, so everyone, when you are ready, I want you to open up a web browser. Okay, which one that we are going to try? Okay, I haven't tried this web page before. Let's try this. If we would like to go for getting the data from where? Let me just think first. Okay, about Billboard website. Okay, I haven't tried this one before. Let's see whether Billboard website can whether we can get the data from or not. I just like search for the Billboard. And then you can see that there is billboard.com. In this one, we will try global 200. Okay. So what do I want you to notice? The things I want you to notice is that if you have seen a web page that consists of the table with the data like this, okay, have a look. You can see that it has a ranking, it has the numbers, blah, 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 something like that. This one might be useful for us. For example, you may just like want to visualize something, to see weeks on charts, to plot them as a graph, something like that. We may just like use this web page. Let's try. because some web page they locked and you can't do it. So what are we going to do in order to get the data from this web page into Power BI? If you're satisfied with this web page and you want to get the data from this table, the things that you have to do is that you go to that web page first to show it on the browser. After that, you copy the URL or copy the address of that web page. After that, you go to Power BI. So firstly, locate the web page that you want the data. Next, copy the URL or the address of that web page. So in this case, I get billboard.com/charts/billboard global200. I copy it. After that, you go to Power BI. And then you just close the yellow screen first. So you get the white screen here. That is the main screen of Power BI here. So you choose Home tab, Get Data. But this time you choose Web. We choose Web. After that, in the URL, you just choose basic mode first. Okay. In the URL, you just right click and then paste what you copy. Then we click OK. Power BI will try to analyze. We will try to analyze the content on that web for us. It asks us for some information. This one, it said that use anonymous access for this web content and level that we apply to. Then we choose what we want. Let me explain to you first. First one, anonymity. What is it? Anonymous access means that this website doesn't require you to log in to get this data. Then we can check, we just said that, okay, we use anonymous access. But on some websites, you pay for it. Or they say that they will allow just the member to see the data only. So we have to choose the user ID and password to enter. But Power BI analyzed already and it said that, okay, this page requires no login. So that's why it said use anonymous. After that, select which level to apply these settings to. Which web page do you want? You just click to see the list. And if we say that, okay, we want the billboards global 200, you click the last level. But if you say that you want to apply this one, I mean, for the main page, you click billboard.com. But this one, I want global 200. Okay. After that, we click connect. And then we just wait. Because Power BI has to spend some time to analyze the data. For anyone who are at home, when you just go to get this data from the web page, from Billboard, you may be able to get the data already. But sometimes in MUIC, if you try to get the data from the web like this, MUIC has the security measure to block on some web page accessing. You may have to use your laptop to connect by using the mobile hotspot instead of using MUIC Wi-Fi because sometimes they lock. Okay. Now today, because we have just four of us in the classroom, so that's why MUIC seems see that this is not the threat. It allows all of us to access, because I remember that on the term that we had all the students who access the web page in the classroom together, MUIC just lock the screen. Yes. Can you please show me the screen? Can you share the screen to me, please? Yeah, please show your screen for the problem that you found, so I can fix it for you. Path, is it okay? Okay. Yeah, so can you show me your screen? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Okay. What about you, the lady? Can you show me your screen? You have to what? Okay, so please do it. Right. Pardon? Okay, can you please show me your screen, please, Path, so that I see what happened. Okay. Okay. Can you get the data once again? Oh, okay. So for both of you, you see the same problem, right? Okay. My suggestion, okay, firstly, you click on Google Chrome first. Google Chrome. Okay. Hang on, let me see. Can you click the new tab and type Google? Yeah, okay. Right, okay, it should be okay. Now go back to Power BI, please. And then just get the file once again. And then you get the web, yeah. And then paste it again. I just want to see what's going on. Click OK. Just wait. This one is the same problem that I told you. Now the security measure MUIC just locked this one. It allows just one person at a time. Can you click OK? And then edit for me. Edit. Now click on advanced. Advanced. Oh, hang on. Blah blah blah. Just click cancel first. This one, you may just like when you go back home, try again. It must work. Now it's a problem of our security in MUIC. That's why it just allow one person to log in. For students at home, does it work? Can someone tell me through the chat box? Does it work? Can you just like get into Billboard? Okay, yes. See that? Because it's like our security, it's too secure in this case, because they are afraid they are afraid that we are trying to hack on this website. So that's why they lock. They just allow one person at a time. Okay, right. Okay, so now let's see. So for anyone who cannot just like go to the Billboard website, just have a look on my screen first. This one, I'll just click yes. Yes. Okay. Now, the things that you see in here, the things that you see in here is that you will see many tables in here. The things that we have to do is that we just click one table at a time and see what we want. You can see that table number 2, it's about just like the legend of like buttons that we have on the screen. No, we don't want it. Table 3. Table 3 is not directly to the ranking. We don't want it. 4, no. 5, no. 6. 6 and 1 are similar. But it seems that table 6 might be more complete than table 1. By the way, table 1 has like more information than table 6. You may just like choose both table 1 and 6, and then we choose it later on. What about table 7? Nothing much. Table 8, nothing. So we may get table 1 and 6 first, and then we manipulate in our Power BI นะครับ So in this one, you can see that once we get the data นะครับ from a website or on a web page to Power BI, especially for the website that they do not intend for you to really use their data in Power BI. They didn't prepare the data for us in the format that Power BI just like fully understand. So once you get the data into the Power BI already, you have to use the Power Query editor to just like rename and to clean the data, because it's possible that some columns นะครับ or some values นะครับ might have some junk inside their cells นะครับ in this one excuse me, if you have a look in this one, you can see that if I go to column to table number 1, I have just like column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And you can see that when I just like see and scan through all of the records that we have, you don't see any headings at all. So that means, what are we going to do? You can't delete these columns away. The things that you may have to do is that you may have to just like rename the column according to the things that you want. How do we know what is this column about? You have to open up the Excel file. Sorry, you have to open up the website or web page นะครับ and then you have to see นะครับ one at a time. What is it about? For example, column 1 นะครับ in here it might be the ranking number. Then you may have to rename it as the ranking number as well นะครับ in this one. Suppose I name it as ranking number. Okay. Column 2. Column 2 is okay. Song name ครับ I may say that it is a song name. Column 3 is the artist. Okay, so if you don't have any questions นะครับ let me just like tell you like this. Because this late afternoon we will have the makeup class นะครับ our first makeup class. It will be just like talking some more about like the things that you have to know in Power BI, and then we have like some exercises นะครับ if some of you นะครับ or if any of you who cannot attend นะครับ the class on this afternoon, I just like want to tell you that on next week นะครับ what are we going to do? On the next week, because next week will be our last week นะครับ of the lecture. So it I mean on regular classes on Monday and Wednesday, it will be the presentation from you นะครับ so how the presentation will be นะครับ everyone has to be on Zoom นะครับ so the things that we have to do is that each group นะครับ I will just like random the order นะครับ for the presenters, because one time I remember that it was a riot. I let students to book the queue by yourself, and it seems like some teams would like to book on the same slot, and somebody just delete some other people's queue out from the Google form that I not Google form, at that time I used Google Sheet. I think they didn't intend to do that, but they thought that nobody booked, then they type in that cell that my team wants, and then at the same time 2 teams just hit enter button. Everyone who hit the button later นะครับ got that one, and they complain a lot. So since then I say that okay, I choose by myself, it should be the better, and it will be the random basis. So what are we going to do นะครับ when you are in the queue นะครับ I will announce a queue on that day นะครับ on the presentation day, because we have around 8 teams นะครับ then we should separate number of presentation into 4 teams on each day นะครับ the things that we do is that once you are in the queue if I say that okay team number 1 you start, the things that you have to do is that one of the member must share the PowerPoint file and then you start presenting. You may just say that okay Ajahn, I think that we separate the PowerPoint into 3 parts. First part belongs to Mr. A, second part belongs to Miss B, third part belongs to Miss C, and while Miss D and Miss E will hold the Excel file, then you can just switch the screen among all of you no problem at all. After that you just after that we will what are we going to do? We will once you present you have to show your PowerPoint, and then if I ask you or if you would like to show Excel file you can switch straight away every presenter must turn on your webcam while you are presenting I mean sorry the whole team the whole team has to turn on your webcam so that I know who are in this team and who are speaking, so that when I give you the score I can just do it straightforwardly. Next, for the listeners or for the audience, you have to listen carefully, because if you can initiate a constructive comments, or if you have a constructive question to ask that team, you will receive the extra points. Apart from that, when the presentation is finished for each team, I will let the audience to evaluate that team. I will give you the evaluation form on e-learning, and then you have to evaluate that team. I'll give you around 10 minutes, and then the evaluation form is closed. Because while normally I give you around 5 minutes before the second team is start its presentation, and then you have another 5 minutes to just finish up. So when the next team is presenting, for 5 minutes later, I will just close that evaluation form. So that means you cannot evaluate the previous team anymore. So you have to be on time. And once you evaluate, you have to click submit, because in the past I saw that some students, when they evaluated, they forgot to click submit. Then I didn't see what or how you evaluate that person, and you don't receive the score too. As the audience, when you evaluate the presenter, you have the score as well. It is the part of our presentation score. You can see that the presentation, the percentage of presentation is 20%. It will be divided into 2 parts. The first part is your presentation, together with your file that you submitted to me. What file that you have to submit? There will be PowerPoint and Excel that you use for your project. Next part, it will be the part of being the evaluator. Each of you has to evaluate the rest of the team to get the full score. And when you evaluate, if you don't just give any comments, you don't get the full score. You need to just conduct the evaluation, the valuable comments for that team as well. If you say that they good, you give them 80% or 85%. What makes you give 80 or 85%, and what should be the what should be the suggestion that you give to this team? What is the strength and what is the weakness of this team? Something like that. Okay. So for anyone who cannot join today's makeup class, I also record the video as well. But most of the time it will be just the practicing. But I don't mind to post it on our e-learning. Okay, right. Okay then, everyone, up to this point, do you have any questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions นะครับ please turn on your camera before I finish the class today. Okay นะครับ everyone that should be all for this morning นะครับ Okay then you have a nice day and we see each other again on this coming sorry in this late afternoon นะครับ bye bye for now ครับ take care everyone see you in the afternoon ครับ bye bye